you crappy assholes. On the 14th floor where the bathroom door don't lock. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the party fits, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on the seat and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome into episode 125 of Fired Up. I'm your host, Dom Consul. With me today is Chris Uche. What's up, dude?
Yeah, it feels like we haven't been together, all three of us, in a while. Just
I know.
Scheduling conflicts, and I had to go to Minnesota, that whack city, for 4 days.
We're definitely going to discuss Minnesota. You're in New Hampshire today. I feel like you're the fucking president. You're just,
I'm traveling all over
just,
campaigning.
Yep. You're. I mean, I don't know how many votes New Hampshire gives, but I can't imagine it's too many, right?
I think it's 2 or 3.
Yeah. You can have New Hampshire. A lot to cover today. Obviously, you know, I do want to discuss a little bit your thoughts on week 1 and 2. We'll definitely discuss week 3 Monday night against Tampa Bay. But right now we got a Phillies game right now. You know, it's 2-2 in top of the 9th. They were up 2-0 2 innings ago.
Yeah.
And listen, they're a win away from being the number 1 wild card team. So, you know, we're sweating here, right?
Yeah, but isn't that sad that we're excited about the number 1 wild card? Like 07, 08, we're not excited about that.
Well, guess what? 07 or 08, 1980, 08, and I think even last year, or we're not even talking about last year because they were a wild card team, but 08 and 80, like for the most part, the Phillies have an identical record to both of those years. So like, the Braves are just the Braves are stupid. Like they're breaking records. Like you know, Matt Olson with the home run record. You know what's crazy about that? If I told you who has before Olson broke it, do you know who had the record for most home runs this season?
For what, the Braves?
Yeah. Like if you had a guess, like if you don't know.
I would guess Hank Aaron.
It's not Hank Aaron.
David Justice?
No. It's a guy
Andrew
who should be in the
Jones?
Hall of Fame. Yes, it's a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame, Andrew Jones.
Yeah, he was him and Chipper at the same time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but my
Go ahead.
pushback is like, are we actually excited about the wild card? Like, I'm excited about playoff baseball, but like beginning of the season, are you excited?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially because of last year, like what they did last year as a wild card team, and now they actually get home field like in the first round. So sure, I mean, I'm definitely excited for playoff baseball. That's the thing. Like the Braves have 100 wins. Like they're losing tonight? I think they have 100 wins or 101 wins. Like, you know, it is what it is. You weren't going to win the division, so like we got the next best thing, right?
Yeah. Who are we
slated
for?
The Cubs, I believe, or it's either the Cubs or the Diamondbacks. I don't know. I think the Cubs are beating. Arizona won today. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm not even on today. Let's see. The Cubs are up 6-0 against the Braves in the middle of the 6th, and the Diamondbacks are up 7-4 top 5 against the White Sox. As of right now, if the playoffs ended right now, it would be the Diamondbacks.
I actually don't want to play Arizona.
I don't give a shit who they play. They're going to beat them.
You think so? I think they have a better chance at the Cubs.
They probably have. Well, here's the thing. Both of those teams have. They both have something that is not identical, but like they both have a top pitcher, and everything after that, like, is kind of beatable. Like I think the Phillies can beat Zach Gallen, like if they absolutely had to at home. Who's the Cubs ace again?
Steele.
Like I'd probably be a little bit more afraid of Steele and Gallen, but I still think they could take either team easily. So if it ended right now, it would be Arizona. They're tied right now.
They just tied that game.
No. I'm saying like the
Oh.
Diamondbacks and Cubs are tied right now. They have the same exact record, 82 and 74.
And who's the 2 team?
What do you mean?
Like, who's the number 2 team?
In the NL?
The second wild card.
The Diamondbacks.
And who's so 3
The
would be
Cubs.
the Cubs playing. Yeah. They play 4.
The Brewers. They would play the Brewers. So we would play. So the Braves and the Dodgers are 1 and 2. They get the bye. The Brewers would play the Cubs right now. The Brewers would play the Cubs, and the Phillies would play the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
So 3 plays 7. No, I'm
And
sorry.
4.
3 plays 6, and 4 plays 5.
Yeah. Okay.
We'd be the 4.
And last year we were what, 6, right?
We were the 6. Yes.
And we beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
Who were 4. Okay.
So yeah, I I'm really not even. I'm not the Brewers. The Phillies are a game behind them, like record wise. The Brewers wouldn't scare me either, but they wouldn't see the Brewers until the pennant, if both teams made it.
Yeah. I think the team, I'm more worried about the Dodgers than the Braves. I think the Braves are going to choke.
Yeah, I think the Braves have guys like Acuna. I think Acuna is a loser.
He is.
He's a great player. He's a great regular season player. He's probably going to win the MVP this year. What he's doing this year is stupid.
What's he, 40-40, right?
No, he's 70 stolen bases, 40 homers.
But he's the first 40-40 in a long time, right?
I think he's the first 40-70. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What he's doing is incredible, but I have to see what that guy does in the playoffs before I can sit here and say, like,
I think, and we've seen him in the playoffs last year.
Right. Well, I'm saying I have to see him succeed in the playoffs for me to say that, like, this guy's a true winner. Because he was not there when they won the World Series, so he was hurt. But yeah, no, I'm trying to follow these games a little bit. I'll keep you guys updated. But the Phillies just went into the bottom of the 9th. I don't know who leads off.
Harper Bohm-Stott.
Is that who's up?
Yeah, Harper Bohm-Stott.
Oh boy, I might fire in a money line here. Fire in a Harper homer. But yeah, I mean, just watching this game, like I kind of want to go back. Like I've been saying since the trade deadline, like a week before the deadline. Remember, you and I did that show together right? It was the day before the deadline, and I told you the one thing I wish they had gotten an outfielder, and I wish they got another pitcher, but I really wanted like a back end guy, and I just can't. Unfortunately, they keep proving me right. Where Kimbrel blows it in the 8th, and Kimbrel had a great year up until the end of July, but like I just think he's too, he's got too much going on right now.
And Dominguez is out, right?
Yeah, and but even a shit show.
Yeah, Alvarado.
But that's the thing is, like, right now Alvarado's the guy. Like going into the playoffs, like I mean Alvarado kind of has to be the 9th inning guy or the closer.
Yeah, and we don't have, like last year we had a little bit more at our disposal.
Right. You had Eflin in the bullpen. He came in late in games. But you know what? That's why I kind of think they went for like Lorenzen and Strahm. Like they got Strahm in the offseason. They said, all right, here's a guy who, if we really need him to start games, he can. It's probably not ideal, but like, he's reliable enough to throw us 2 innings if we really need him to throw the 6th and the 7th or the 5th and the 6th. It's the same thing with Lorenzen. If you absolutely need a starter, he could start for you. And I don't know if it was Kruk. I think it was Ruben Amaro said, I'm curious to see what he just said this right before he came on. I'm curious to see if Lorenzen would be a decent back end guy. And
like a closer.
Yeah, well, like an Eflin last year. Like
I like Strahm. I like Strahm in that position.
I like him against lefties.
I
think he's really effective against lefties. But
and they talked about that kid making the playoff roster.
Yes. He pitched the other night, right?
Yeah, he did. He won 2-3 inning against the Mets.
Yeah.
Like him actually making, like I actually think that that's a good thing that the Phillies found somebody like that?
Yeah, of course.
It's
The-
what's it?
What's that?
Last year's draft, he got drafted, or 2 years ago?
Yes, it was last year.
Yeah, so he came up pretty quick.
He did all levels this year. He played low A, high A, double, triple, and now he's in the majors. Which I'm kind of confused about. I didn't think if you weren't on the roster before September 1st, if you were on the roster after September 1st, I didn't think you were allowed to be on the playoff roster. Or is that old?
I think that's old
Okay.
baseball.
Okay. But yeah, this back end bullpen, like I don't care how good of a team you are. Like I don't care how good your bullpen is. It's always good to add to the bullpen. Like it's never a bad thing. And like I'm curious to see if they had any like offers, like if anything was close.
And a huge problem is that they don't have guys that'll go the distance.
Right.
Like
Well,
you have
yeah.
Wheeler who will try his best, but Nola can't seem to get out of the sixth.
Yeah.
Ranger's more of like a sixth inning guy.
Speaking of Nola, and I have another question for you about the playoffs, but Nola looked really good tonight. Like he gave up a homer in the sixth, I think it was, or the fifth. But other than that, like he looked like, from a couple years ago when he was a Cy Young candidate. Like
I just have a problem with the home runs, man. It's okay.
That's
It's
what
good
everybody
when
has.
it's good when there's nobody on base. Like thank God that it was a solo shot. But if two people are on, you're losing that game now.
Of course, which he tends to do. Like second and third, and gives up a homer. That's really his only downfall of his career the last few years. But he looked really good tonight. His last start, he looked pretty good for the most part. He gave up 6 hits, but he had like 8 strikeouts. Tonight, he reaches the second consecutive year, 5th time in his career, have 200 strikeouts in a year, which isn't like the most impressive thing in the world, I guess, nowadays, because a lot of guys do that. Like Strider has been like decent this year, but he's going to have like almost 300. So he had 200 in July. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to feel. I don't know if this is the Red October getting ready to hit, but like, and just like the feeling of playoff baseball, but like bring me back to earth because I am starting to get a little bit confident in Aaron Nola. I might need you to bring me back down to earth a little bit though.
He's not a bad number 2. He's not a bad 2 or a 3, and I think that's what he is. I think that's what he's going to be when he gets paid. I can't trust him right now. I understand. They're just untrustable. He's almost like, I'm trying to think of like 2009 Cole Hamels after the World Series MVP, or where like he didn't have to be the guy. I don't know if Nola feels that way too. Like, hey, Zach's the guy now. I'm just I just need to do the number 2 duties.
Let me ask you this. Last year, did you feel confident in Nola in the playoffs? Like, did you feel confident in him when he was pitching? Honestly.
Yes.
What if this year comes and they come into the playoffs and they make another run, not even so much like a World Series run. Let's say they get to the pennant. Or they lose in the round before, but they look really good. And Nola looks like he did last year in the playoffs, looks good. Would you feel more confident in bringing him back?
If they lose before the pennant,
he looks good. Like, yeah.
I think if he looks good, they're going to the World Series. I think it all depends on that 2 guy, because I can trust Wheeler. I think it really depends on Nola.
Well, that actually now brings me to my next question, because we talked about it on the show last week, Mike and I. Who game 1? Let's say you split game 1 and game 2 in the wild card, and you have to go to game 3. Who starts game 3?
Ranger.
Okay, that's what I said, and I think Mike was thinking Sanchez, but I think he later on kind of we came to an agreement where it probably is Ranger, and Sanchez has looked really good so far. But
the reason why I say Ranger is because I know what I got with him. I know I got a guy that is a competitor and he's a winner, and he's like gonna back his team. So I think the team plays harder for him.
Yo, he's probably got the biggest balls I've ever seen. Like, dude. Last year he was just unstoppable in the playoffs. So that's part of the reason that I said, I think Rangers the guy for Game 3. But yeah, so we got first and second, 2 outs. Stott hit a single. JT walked. That's another guy who's starting to get hot at the right time. JT.
Yeah, JT.
So he had a huge home run Sunday. I think Saturday, and then Sunday, nothing game in like the 4th inning. Hits a 2 RBI, a 2 RBI single to get the Phillies going. So,
and Casty's been hot too.
Yep,
he's on fire.
Up right now. He's up right now. He's got 3 career walk-off hits. That's it. This guy's been in the league for like 12 years. Sorry, we're kind of live watching the game right now.
No, what's going on? Is something going on in the city?
Are there
like protests going on?
Oh, I have no idea.
My boss just texted me and said we have to close all stores right now.
Oh.
I don't know if it's because they think the Phillies are going to have people are going to go nuts over a wild card.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm on vacation though.
Yeah, I'm in New Hampshire.
Meanwhile, my boss is watching right now. I'm going to get a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, do you think we have the right bench in place right now for this year? Like, do you have that guy to come off the bench and do like the intangibles, good utility player? Like, yeah, I think that's crossed off our list because of why can't I think of his name?
Sosa?
Yeah, I think he's our good utility player, but what else do we have?
I mean, I think the lineup is going to look like what it was tonight. Oh my God, you can't take that strike. Castellanos strikes out into the 9th. I think what the lineup was tonight is what you're going to see in the playoffs, because I don't think they can afford to have Schwarber play defensively, which now takes one of those like good bench players off bench, which is Rojas. So tonight it was Harper at first, Stott at second, Turner at short, Bohm at third, Martian left, Rojas center, and Castellanos in right, and JT catching. So that kind of takes one guy like off the bench, I guess. But I think that's the best starting lineup that they have. I think that's like what they should do. Now that Harper can play first every day, but do
you think he's your first baseman next year?
I think they bring Reese back for one more year.
Do?
Yeah, I think they say you didn't get a fair shot. We here's the same exact money you got last year, and Reese says, okay, we'll do it. I really think that's. I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying that should happen. I just think that does happen. And then you have a logjam out in the outfield.
Sorry, I'm just getting texts.
No, you're good.
So it's due to the police shooting that they dropped all the charges today on the officer.
Okay. So,
I don't know. Again.
Yeah.
We just
You're in New
sports.
Hampshire. Yeah.
We just took the talk sports.
Right. So yeah, you get a logjam in the outfield next year if that happens.
Is that an issue though? To have a logjam out there?
You have Castellanos and Harper, who both have to play.
Yep.
You have Schwarber, who has to DH next year.
Yep.
And then you have Rojas and Marsh.
Why can't Marsh relieve one of the three, play all three as a relief guy? You know what I mean?
He could essentially, but then like one of those guys is sitting every night because you'll have Schwarber DH.
Right.
We know Schwarber doesn't sit.
Yeah. No, he's not allowed.
Right. So, I don't know. Maybe they do sit. I don't think Harper's a long-term solution there, because I do think he still has some issues at first base. Me growing up as an all-star first baseman,
all Catholic.
Yeah. I was all public catcher though. Second all team. Just throwing my accolades out there. But,
there you go.
But what was I gonna say here? Yeah, so I don't there are some issues with Harper at first. Maybe he could on the offseason he can fix those things.
But you think Reese will be back?
I feel like that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I think you create your own logjam and issues if you bring Reese back.
That's a fair point. I just think, dude, like I just think they know he's like the like heartbeat of this team.
And I agree. I don't.
Unless they trade like Marsh or something.
That's what I was just gonna say. Are you okay if they trade Castellanos?
I'd probably
and go get a number 2.
It depends who it is, I guess. I say everybody's available except Harper and Stott.
Harper, Stott, and Andrew Painter.
And yeah. Well, dude, you're not going to see him until he's like off his parents' insurance. So, and that's the thing with like with pitchers, especially young guys that get hurt. Like, they it's so hard for them to pan out anyway. So listen, man. If it's the right deal, why not? Like,
so you're good to move. What about
right
JT?
Deal.
What about JT?
Well, here's the problem. You know what? Maybe they don't bring Hoskins back because they moved JT to a little bit.
First?
Like I think I don't know if he's going to be the full-time first baseman, but I think next year if they don't bring Hoskins back, I think JT is going to split time between first base and DH. And he's going to catch a little bit. He's going to catch a little bit, but he's not going to be your everyday first baseman, everyday catcher. I think they're going to platoon the guys if Hoskins isn't back. If it's not next year, it's the year after. That happens.
And who's your starting catcher?
Well, they'd have to go get somebody.
Like, are you okay with Stubbs?
No, no, not at all.
You think Chris Coast is still available?
Chris Coast, yeah. Tried to get him on the show a few times.
The 39-year-old rookie?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I remember going to like Barnes and Noble and seeing like the 29-year-old rookie. And like I'm like it was like 2007. I'm like, I need that book.
Yeah.
Never got it.
It's gonna teach me so much.
Yeah, right.
About life.
But you got first and second no outs, top of the 10th. Hoffman's pitching. We'll see if they get out of this. If there's one thing that the Phillies do well, it's blow leads and then come back and win. So we'll see.
Football?
Yeah. I was just getting ready to transition to that. So Mike and I, we didn't get to come on for week 1. We had a lot going on between the three of us. You were in Minnesota, in your presidential campaign. I had some stuff at home that I had to take care of. So Mike, couldn't get somebody to come on. So we skipped 2 weeks ago after week 1. It kind of sucked, but we came on last week. We talked about week 1 and week 2. What are your thoughts so far of week 1 and 2? Let's leave last night's game out of it for a minute. What are your thoughts after week 2?
I'm trying to be non-biased with recency bias.
We are going to do our football picks too, but let's talk about week 1 and 2. Then we'll do our football picks, and then we'll talk about week 3.
That D line is nasty. That's one of my takeaways. Like, they really messed up not taking Carter, anybody before 9. That's before last night. And then their offense is very vanilla right now to me. It's not appealing to me, but it's getting the job done. So like they know if they get the lead, they can just run the ball down your throat. You're not going to be able to stop them. So to me, that's boring football, but that's winning football.
But it's also different than last year. Like last year, they were able to throw the ball early, and they had to run the ball in the second half. Like what was your White famous line? Like this is so boring. Like in the second half, right?
Yep.
So like it's not even that anymore. Like to where they have such a big lead going into the second half. They just just run the ball. Like it's genuinely effective. Like it's effective.
Yep.
Now. Like compared to what it was last year. Not that it wasn't effective last year, but it was just much more, just we're running out the clock and the third quarter and on.
Yep.
So
yeah. So I also think that those reports like that about Jalen and AJ Brown, like I think that was just like overhyped. I think they're just both competitors and they both want to win. So I didn't have a problem with that whole thing on the sideline. I actually think that that's good to happen between a number one wide receiver and a star quarterback to be able to have that conversation. And then I'm just going to foreshadow and go into like, and then what happens last night where,
right.
okay, like he ran his mouth and he wound up coming up big when you needed him anyway.
He did drop 2 touchdowns, though.
He did drop 2 touchdowns, but he also
you and I
shredded
both needed
them.
No, for sure.
Them.
Right. Yeah, I it kind of goes to that thing. I've said on the show before, like all wide receivers are divas.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of who's a bigger diva.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. What was your opinion on? Oh my God, he almost threw him out of third. What was your opinion on the use of Gainwell and Swift week 1 versus week 2?
I think it was a great thing that Gainwell got hurt at the game 1. I do, unfortunately. Like I don't like to root against people getting hurt, but you could finally see like, okay, like this is a true running back one.
No, I hear you,
so
man.
I think it also makes me, because he's so young. I know he's got injury history, but like I see
Swift?
I see 2 games and I'm like, okay, like this guy's like, he was averaging, I'm not even going to talk about last night, but the Thursday night game, like 7 yards per carry. And I'm like, okay, could be a guy that like we can bring back. And that's what I would love to bring Swift back. I still think he hasn't been utilized in the passing game. And that's still a huge thing that they need to figure out how to get him the ball in open space.
So I would be open to bringing him back, but I'm not ready to say that yet. We can start transitioning to week 3, but like even with week 2 and 3's performance, because I want to see him hold up a whole season. Which that's why Detroit traded him. It's not because he doesn't have the ability to be a top back. It's just the fact that he can't really.
It's hurt. Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, it could also just be Detroit running backs in general because David Montgomery's out now.
Right, that's true.
Could just be that line so bad.
And conditioning. I mean,
Yeah.
Our guy Deuce Staley, I don't think he was there last. Was he there last?
He was. Year? Yeah, he was.
I mean, that could be another thing. Like, do they not, train these guys well enough to keep them on the field? But
dude, you know what's crazy?
Yeah, go ahead.
About Swift. I was last night. Jalen Hurts is lined up to take the snap at like the 7 yards from center.
Yeah.
Swift is like another 3 yards behind him. So in order for him to even just get a gain of 1, he's already running 11 yards. And that's what we don't track. We just track from line of scrimmage moving forward. But if you track from like where he touched the ball, how many carries did he have last night? 14?
Something like that.
Add another 10 yards.
Right.
So like every time just to get to the line of scrimmage, he's running 10 yards.
It's kind of like the McCoy thing, like Shady McCoy, like how he would run to one sideline and like run to the other sideline almost. Like you don't even account for the yards going east-west.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
So
exactly.
I hear you.
I actually like that. I think it's good for him. I think it's smart play designed by the Eagles. What I don't want to see though is that when Gainwell's in there, you line him up next to Hurts. Like you got to be consistent with every running back being that far back if you're going to be out of the shotgun, because if not, you start giving reads away to if it's a run or a pass.
Right.
I don't
even if it is a run, that could be a fumble. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean. Yep. You're not used to that.
Dude, how good is that O line though?
Well, real quick, let's go into our picks before we talk about last night. I mean,
no, I'm not. I'm still talking about 1 and 2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like that game against Minnesota,
incredible.
They could just do whatever they wanted down the field, as far as running the ball.
Right. So this kind of goes with week 2 and 3. Kind of. What I saw today was a picture from the Vikings game and the Tampa game of just the biggest hole you could possibly think of inside in the offensive line, and Swift is it's just open field. and somebody said they're trying to get rid of the QB like sneak or whatever, or the QB push or whatever they call it, the goal line push. So the Eagles are so good they're just going to get rid of, like, they can't have an offensive line now. Like they're just going to look for every possible way for the Eagles not to succeed. And that was also a discussion Mike and I had last week after the first 2 weeks was what we thought about the push and like our idea with, or our opinion on the whole league and the whole world and the media kind of being against it. Guess what? Like, the Eagles are really the only team that does it great.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that. Like, it's not just a fluke play. Like, this guy benches 600
pounds.
This offensive line is built to do this. Like, it's not like, oh, we're just good at it. Like, no, they legitimately practice this. They legitimately are building a team around the ability to do this. Like this isn't an accident.
Yeah, so to go for it on 4th and 1 every time.
Right. Like, and I love Joe Burrow and I love Patrick Mahomes and I love Josh Allen, but these guys aren't doing it. And like,
no.
There's a reason. It's because their teams and they are not built to do it like our quarterback and our offensive line are.
Yeah, and I think the reason why other people don't like it is because right now there's not a way to stop it.
Sure.
Like
and they're not good at it either.
Yeah, the only way to stop it would have to be like a Troy Polamalu jumping over the line. Right. And like grabbing him and bringing him back. Like, that's your only way you're going to stop that.
And that's so crazy. That's not even a promise that would work.
Yeah. The thing that I like last night, they were on 3rd and goal on the 1. I thought he got in the first time. But Sirianni doesn't even like throw the challenge flag out because he's like, I'm going to just do it again.
Right.
And you're not going to stop it.
Right. Absolutely. It's funny. I was in a separate group chat, and he didn't get in. I texted. I said I think he's in, and then they showed the replay. They said he wasn't in. I literally texted back, "Do it again," and they did it again, and he gets in. He just has confidence.
He got like 5 yards on the second one.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'm a little distracted right now. It's you got Pache on second, no outs, bottom of the 10th. Marsh is up. Let's see if he could poke one through here. But yeah, I mean, your take, and anything else from week 1 and 2? Anything?
I'm happy that they kept as many cornerbacks as they did.
Yes.
I'll
tell you this, Devontae looks really good too. Devontae looks really good too.
He can catch anything. He runs any route perfectly. He blocks really well too. For somebody that's size, like 170.
Yeah. He I think it was the first play of the game last night. I know we're waiting to get in the last night, but he got like popped.
He got thrown. Yeah, he got thrown and he popped right up and walked right back to the line.
Listen, if he was like even like 15 pounds bigger, he actually might be the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, let's send an email to Howie and say like, hey, when are you going to get him on this program to gain 15 pounds?
We'll just Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say he'll be the greatest receiver ever. Me and you will go down to the NovaCare and we'll show him how it's done.
Listen, my line is open, Howie Roseman. Chris is in New Hampshire right now, so we'll have to make it till next week.
It's all right.
We can have the meeting.
We can Zoom.
Yeah, right. So we'll just call DeAndre Swift's dad. He'll give him some muscle.
That's is true as well.
That's a big mother effer.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, any other takeaways from week 1 and 2?
From the NFL in general?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's get weird.
I think that
Burrow's hurt still.
And the Chargers, they won yesterday, but they're definitely not what they expect them to be. They're still missing something.
I think it's the head coach. To be
honest. You think?
Yeah, I think he should have been fired last year.
I think he should have been fired 2 years ago.
I agree with that too.
Would have sent him to the playoffs.
I agree with that. I 100. That's the thing is like he didn't get fired 2 years ago. Okay, he probably should have been, but like last year, it's just like, how did he not get fired? And I mean, I think they said to him, "We'll bring in Kellen Moore. He's our offensive coordinator. If it really just doesn't work out with Staley, then we have our next head coach already in the building. So, I it sucks because Herbert looks like he has all the there it is. Base hit.
Score.
And the Phillies win. Phillies win, number 1 wild card seed, clinch a playoff spot. It's Red October, baby. But yeah, no, I think Herbert has all the talent to be a top 5 quarterback, a top 7 quarterback, whatever it is, even top 3. I really think he has all the talent in the world, but I just think you need to get him away from that coach if that's the issue.
I think that the offensive line is awful.
That's possible too.
He is and the craziest part for him is that Eckler can't stay healthy either.
Right.
You need you had a guy. Did they play together, him and Melvin Gordon? Herbert and Melvin Gordon?
I believe so. Right. Herbert and Melvin Gordon, I don't think so. Maybe 1 year.
So Eckler's been his guy
most
that
of his
whole
career,
time?
Yeah.
Okay, and how much consistency has Eckler had? When do you start to look into that room too?
Well, Eckler's 28?
Yeah. Yep.
Let's look at his Football Reference really quick. So, Austin, whoops, that's not how you spell Austin. Austin Eckler. Let's look at his durability the last few years. Last year he played 17 games, the year before 16, the year before 10, the year before 16.
Okay.
And then 14 and 16 the 2 years before that, but he wasn't the starter.
No, he was behind Melvin.
Let's see his rushing. He's great, but he's got a lot of mileage, it looks like.
Yeah. And he catches the ball a lot.
Right. He catches the ball 107 catches for 722 yards last year.
Yeah. When are they going to be held accountable?
Yeah, I mean that's they drafted a couple I think it was Spiller a year or two ago, and they have another kid, and they have Joshua Kelly. So they have decent.
They have J.C. Jackson still too.
He's a cornerback, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Who's their running back? Jackson. There was a Jackson down there, running back. He came from Northwestern. Or is that Joshua Kelly?
Joshua Kelly's their starter right now while Eckler's out. I don't know if there's there might be a Jackson.
There was. I know he came from Northwestern. There's just so many running backs down there.
Yeah, right. So
Parham's their leading receiver yesterday.
He's a tight end too. That's the best part.
What's going on?
But Mike Williams goes down.
Another one can't stay healthy.
Right.
And it's only a matter of weeks until Keenan Allen pops onto to IR.
And they just paid him too.
I know.
Mike Williams. So I know there were discussions for them to just let go of Keenan Allen, but going into this year, they decided not to, obviously. But
which is a good call.
Yeah. I really do like the receiver they have, though. The kid they drafted, in the first round. He went to didn't he go to TCU? Where did he go?
I don't even. What's his name?
Johnson.
Did he go to TCU?
No, he didn't go to TCU. Maybe he went to I forget where he went, but he was really first round pick. He looked really good in college. I think he could eventually take over as a number 1 receiver. But
Quentin Johnson,
that's what it is.
I think he went to TCU.
Did he go to TCU?
I wanted to say it was Quentin Johnson.
I thought it was Michigan or something.
No, TCU.
Not Michigan. Was it TCU?
No,
I thought it was Western Michigan or something. Okay.
Nope.
I just don't like TCU receivers. So it's tough. Right.
There's nothing good that comes out of TCU receiver wise.
Right. So
I mean, what's his name looks great, Jalen Reagor.
Yes.
Amazing.
Right. Great. Yeah. He was worth. Yeah, he was worth a first round pick to be before Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, how he made. I think he's made amends for that though.
Yeah, probably.
Would you consider a Super Bowl run last year, and do you think he's forgiven or absolved for that mistake?
Think of it like this: it's more than just the Super Bowl. It's drafting Devontae.
Yeah. Trading for
AJ Brown. What else happened after Jalen Carter,
Jordan Davis,
Landon Dickerson, Jordan Davis?
Who's starting guard right now for them?
Jurgens
can play guard now,
right? And he's versatile.
Yeah.
My
boy Reed Blankenship.
Undrafted free agent.
Great find.
Yeah, dude,
Josh Jobe, another undrafted free agent.
Yep. So yes, I do think so. But
so he's absolved in your
sure
for that mistake. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's not like Minnesota's done anything crazy,
right?
Since they've had Jefferson.
Yo, really quick, did you see that? That just kind of reminds me because he was on the Patriots going into week 1. He was on like the practice squad, like they brought him in to like get him ready for against the Eagles. Did you see what the Cowboys are like worried about the game this week?
Yes, because Zeke and Will Greer are there. That's really pretty funny. Yeah, well, they did not look good yesterday.
No,
they
not
just
at all.
did not. They got exposed.
Let's do our football picks really quick before we talk about this week at all. I'll give you Mike's first, and then.
Well, can we go overall?
Who's what do you winning? Mean? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm saying, let's. Here, I got it right here. So, Mike went 3-2 this week. I went 3-2, and you went 3-2. So we all went over 500 for the week. That puts Mike at 7-8 on the year. Me at 8-7, and you at 9-6.
Okay.
So we're you and I are both. You're 3 games over 500. I'm 2 games because I think. Wait, how does that work?
That doesn't work.
No, that doesn't work. So you have 9 wins. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do I have 8 wins? You have 9. I'm 8-7. You're 9-6.
Did you only make 4 picks week 2? It's showing you went.
Oh, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. I don't know if I won. So I'm either 8-8 or 9-7. So
yes.
We'll wait for Mike to come back next week to figure that out.
To get him on that.
Yeah, to grill him.
We gotta figure out what happened on there.
Yep. All right. So I'll give you Mike's picks. You go, and then I'll give my picks. All right.
Okay.
So Mike's got leading the week 4, Falcons Jaguars. The Jaguars -3. He's got the Rams Colts. The Rams +1.5. And then he's got Commanders Eagles. The Commanders +8.5. Then he's got the over-unders Ravens Browns over 40.5. And the Cardinals Niners under 43.5.
Okay. I got Detroit -1.5 playing Green Bay.
Is that
Rams,
Thursday?
Yes.
Okay.
Rams +1.5.
Okay.
I actually think Bills -2.5. I think Miami pulled all their stunts last week.
Yes.
So
and somebody needs to smack him. Somebody needs to smack him in the mouth too.
Yeah. Over 46 Detroit and Green Bay. So I'm dipping twice into that game. And then
wait, what did you have that
at? 46.
Okay. It's over 46 or 46.5?
46 is what I had it.
All right.
What do you have it at?
I had it 45.5. We'll go 46 though. Unless you want to go to 45.5. It's up to you.
I'll take the 46.
All right. I'll go 46 too then, because I have that too.
And then over 40.5 NOLA and Tampa Bay.
Okay. I did look at some of them. I actually have 2 of the same ones. I'm gonna go Vikings Panthers. So you asked me before the show what craziness I had. I think this is one of them because I think this is a must-win game for the Vikings. They're 0-3.
It is.
And I think they need to come out, even though it's a road game. I think they need to come out and they really, really need to win a game. So I got them at -3.5. I got the Vikings -3.5. I also have the Packers -1.5. And then my other questionable one, and I told you that I had Patriots Cowboys. I got Cowboys -6.5. I think the defense is really good. We talked about this in the group chat. Like, I think the defense is really good. Their offense isn't as good as people, probably thought they were going to be. But I think it's a home game. They're coming off a really bad loss. I know the Patriots have a good defense, but I just think the Cowboys can win by a touchdown.
Okay.
Even if the defense has 2 pick sixes or something.
Yeah.
And then my over unders, I got Dolphins Bills over 53.5. I still think it's going to be a big game. Like, honestly, like, I understand the Dolphins put up 70, but like the Bills put up like what, 40 or 43? Whatever they did this week. So like both teams can really score. But I do think the Bills win that game. And they do cover. And then I got the Lions Packers as well over 46.
Okay.
So we'll have to text those to Mike because he's probably not gonna
remember.
Yeah, or care enough to write them down. So. All right, really quick. Let's dive into week 3. With the Eagles, they play Monday night in Tampa. How do you feel about the 2 Monday night games?
I don't like it.
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, I thought last night the second game was a shit show, but the week before, week 2, I thought was a lot of fun. They'll never do it, but
yeah, I just don't like.
God. John Middleton almost just fell off a chair.
I don't like ESPN. Like, you're trying to watch one and they're like phasing in the other one at the same time, and it's like.
Yeah, I agree with that. I put the game on last night, and I'm like, I put on ESPN because that's how it started. And
yeah,
they played the first drive, and then they switched to the pregame show, and I looked at my wife. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yep.
So I switched to ABC. But
last night, I think the Eagles again proved how dominant their offensive line is, and versatile,
and defensive line.
Yeah, and defensive line. And then think that they shored up some positions where there might have been some questions. So I think James Bradbury played really well in the slot last night. And Job also played really well on the outside. And I think, why am I going to call him Sidney Jones? Sidney Brown?
Yes.
Is just like he's going to be him and Reed Blankenship will be your starting safeties next week.
I agree with that. I think Brown hit a really big hit too.
Yep.
A couple really nice plays. I told you guys when they drafted him I was a fan of him. And then I told you guys in training camp and in preseason, I said by like week 6 he's going to be the starter. And going into week 4 he might be.
Yeah, neither one of them, Blankenship or Brown, are afraid to get into the running game. Like they will come downhill and they'll hit you. And and then that late pass breakup on Mike Evans. I know he wound up scoring on that drive anyway.
Yeah.
But like that's a veteran receiver there who like you made a good play on.
That's a veteran receiver who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
You think? Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer.
Walks in. Yeah. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, look at his stats, man.
Wow.
Dude, look at his stats.
See, yeah, but what are we comparing him to in this era where wide receivers are so heavily used?
All right, so let's look at the best receivers in the league, right? So,
like, Justin Jefferson's better than him?
Justin Jefferson's better than him, yeah, of course.
Right, so is Jefferson a Hall of Famer?
Not yet. He hasn't played long enough.
Jamar Chase?
Over his career now. He's not better.
I'm just trying to think like
right now, yes. Like DeAndre Hopkins. Like Mike has better numbers than DeAndre Hopkins.
84 touchdowns, 10,000 yards.
For Mike Evans.
Yep.
You're talking about. Yeah. He's got 1,000 yards every year.
Yep.
like Randy Moss didn't do that. Jerry Rice didn't do that. Calvin Johnson didn't do that. Like you look at the best receivers ever. This has never happened before. So 700 catches. Off the top of my head, probably
853 for 11,071 touchdowns.
Yeah. I probably.
That's the only thing I'm just trying to figure out. Like, what is a receiver's worth nowadays because they pop off so
Sure,
much.
but look at the guys who are throwing Mike Evans the ball before Brady. Like his second best quarterback is Baker Mayfield.
Like, yeah, but Jameis could sling the ball. Like he never had an issue with getting him the ball downfield.
We're talking about 2 40-40 guys tonight. We're talking about Ronald Acuna and Jameis Winston, 40 touchdowns and 4 picks.
The greatest to ever do it too.
Who's a better 40 for 40 guy?
I actually have to say, if I had to start a franchise and you gave me either Jameis Winston or Daniel Jones, I think I'm taking Jameis Winston.
He's definitely the best backup in the league. He's probably the best backup. He's probably a starter on some teams.
He's definitely a starter on some teams. I'm surprised the Jets haven't reached out to them.
That's also something I want to talk about too.
He stinks, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, he's really bad. Let's focus on the Eagles right now, though.
Okay.
We'll get into the Jets.
I have to refocus because last night I think I told you and Mike, while the Eagles game's on, I was able to sell 2 Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
On eBay. So like I had that going on, like going back and forth with the guy. So like my mind was in like 2 places. So I'm trying to grab myself and
absolutely.
myself.
No, trust me, I know. I know. Being, you can attest to this. Like being a father while watching Eagles games, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do either. Like there were times where like I missed a player or two, doing something. So I totally understand. Like the season feels like a blur so far.
It does.
But I can't believe we're going into week 4 already. Like it's almost October. I already got the pumpkins out.
I know. I see. You're ready to go.
We're ready to go. It's Halloween town here. But yeah, obviously they were able to run the ball again. Like just didn't feel like Swift had. Like it felt like Swift had a bunch of yards, but it also didn't feel like he was 130. Like 2 weeks ago, it felt like, what did he have, 150 or something?
I thought it was like 170 something.
Or 170 something, whatever it was. It definitely felt like that 2 weeks ago because he had 25 carries, but like it didn't feel like 130 last night. And I looked at the thing, it was like
he only had 14 carries, right?
Yeah, right. 14 carries for like 131, I think it was, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, how the hell did that happen?
He saw the holes last night really well, and the Eagles did a really nice job. I mean, that definitely was not the best Buccaneers team that we could have faced.
Sure,
right? Like they're definitely missing some players, especially in their secondary. But Levante David played last night, and
that kid from Rutgers looks really good.
Yes. Did you hear that whole story of how they drafted him, or he was undrafted, but now so Todd Bowles' son played with him at Rutgers.
Okay.
And he went to go watch his son play a game, and he wound up catching this kid and like knew he wasn't going to get drafted. He's like, hey, like we're going to take you, like we're going to sign you. They already had a rapport because his son was friends with him.
Right. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that's really good. Cool. I mean,
what? Yeah. He I think he had a sack yesterday. He had a couple pressures like as a cornerback.
Yeah.
So
he was 29, right? He's number 29.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one sack though, I don't know if it's considered his sack is considered a sack. I just think Hurts didn't do a good job as a quarterback on that play because Swift picked him up, blocked him.
Right.
Hurts got around it and then wound up getting hit from behind. Right. So, but hey, I'm not going to criticize the whole thing.
Sure. So, we're trying to think about last night. Defense looked really good too. They get a safety. They Reed Blankenship, your boy, gets a pick. Smart play. Jalen Carter looks like he should have been the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and Jordan Davis can pick you up with one hand.
I mean, those two guys for the next 10 years are going to be so much fun to watch.
If they can just get Nakobe to be able to play.
To stay on the field?
Yeah, if they could just get him to play.
Now we know why he fell to the third round or whatever it was, the fourth round.
Injury, yeah.
Yeah.
Cunningham actually looked good last night too.
Yes.
And Nicholas Morrow did too.
The whole defense looked really good. Like
and
you said, the cornerbacks.
Britton Covey wants to return kicks. Wanted to return punts yesterday.
That's career long, 52 yards.
I know, and then he got brazen on the second one and should have let it bounce into the end zone.
Drops it and runs backwards. It was like looked like Deshaun.
Yeah. And what about Britton Covey taking kickoff returns? I mean, not Britton Covey, Devin Allen.
Devin Allen. Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be this all tracker, and I look like I run faster than him last night, and I run like Kyle Schwarber runs. So I actually might be faster than Kyle Schwarber, but I look like that. So the defense as a whole, like you said, the corners look great, the safeties look great, Brown and Blankenship. Cunningham, Morrow look really good. The defensive line. The only person I'm like really starting to get a little concerned about on the defensive side is Reddick.
Yeah, me too. And I think last night I said the Eagles were smart not to pay. At least he's not holding a grudge. But right now it looks like a smart decision.
Sure, absolutely.
And the Eagles have the upper hand to say hey, when you play correctly, or when you provide the stats that we need you to, we'll take care of you. But get a sack, get a pressure,
right?
Something.
He hasn't come close.
No. He's not even Brandon Grant. Yep. Sure has been.
So that's a bit concerning. Do you think that could be something with the injury that he had?
No, I just think that whoever the team is, they're going to make sure that he gets an extra chip on his side, or a tight end's going to, down block before he goes out for a reception. I think they know where he's at on the field, and I think that's the strategies the teams are going to use.
Okay.
He's just got to be better than that.
I'm curious how that it's going to be moving forward now that teams realize how good Jalen Carter's been. Because he's not just, and it's the same thing with Jordan Davis. Like last year, they asked Jordan Davis to be a run stopper, and this year so far he's looking like more than just a run stopper. He's looking like a pass rusher. Run stop, all the above. Now you have two guys who are good against the run and good getting pressure on the quarterback. And honestly, you can even say three. That's what Fletcher Cox did his whole career. He was able to stop the run and get to the quarterback as a defensive tackle. So now you have three guys, two younger guys, but I'm kind of curious to see how they start the game plan against Jalen Carter and what his adjustments are to that and what the rest of the defensive line starts to look like. Like Josh Sweat, I think looks really good too so far.
He's smart. Josh Sweat's a smart player.
They got really lucky with him.
Yeah.
Like he had some injuries in college, and they saw a guy. What was he, like a fourth round pick? Fourth round pick?
7th round pick.
Josh Sweat, really?
Yep, 7th round pick.
Jeez. I thought he was a lot higher than that.
I will make sure. But I'm pretty sure he came out of Florida.
Boston College, right? Oh, Florida State's right. 4th round, yeah.
Was he 4th round?
Yeah.
Okay. He should have been a 1st round, though. I know that.
First to 2nd rounder. When coming out, end of the 1st round, early 2nd round. And the Eagles said, you know what, we'll take that chance in the 4th round. That's why I think the Nakobe Dean kind of thing kind of made a little bit of sense, because all right, we'll take a shot on a kid that looks really, really good, just has a little bit of trouble staying healthy. So yeah, I think he looks pretty good so far. I think, and that's the thing is they're not going to do what they did last year. They're not going to have a billion sacks again. I think that was kind of an anomaly. They're really good, but I wasn't expecting that 2 years in a row. But I also wasn't expecting Hassan Reddick to be invisible, and
Yeah, but you also got to what's the game plan look like?
No, right.
Get that ball out in 3 seconds. It doesn't matter where it goes, just don't get hit.
And they're not allowing teams to run on them either, which is
good. Well, I was going to bring that up. I think the Eagles have the best run defense in football.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they still have some things they could do on some pass defense, but their rushing defense is sick.
Yeah, and listen, they kind of these next few weeks are important, even though they don't play like the best teams in the world. But it's important to win these games because they're eventually going to see the Cowboys twice. They're going to see the Chiefs, and they're going to see the Bills and the Dolphins and these other teams. So I'm not going to be at the game, but I'm going to be tailgating on Sunday.
Okay.
So we'll see. Will they play Washington? Are you going to be at the game?
I am not. I'm actively trying to sell the tickets right now.
Okay.
I got work on Sunday.
Yeah. Are you back from New Hampshire? Your tour?
My tour. Yeah, I come back.
Tour?
Yep. I gotta go report back to Target headquarters.
Yeah. Okay.
But Washington defense looks good. Their offense, yep. I think will destroy them. With our,
I think Al looks pretty decent.
He hasn't. I think I'm trying to think of him in college.
I mean, he played a real defense this week, but
he can maneuver in the pocket well, and I think that's something the Eagles have struggled with, like getting that first tackle instead of like hitting him and then like breaking it, and then that second throw off. Like if you're gonna get to the quarterback, make sure you finish him off, and don't leave like slop for the seconds to get around, because that's what Hal did well 2 weeks ago.
Yes, Denver.
He would yep.
Oh
Denver? Man, are we gonna talk about them?
We can.
Oh my god,
we have a little bit of time.
Oh my god, if you get 70 dropped on you, you should actually have to lose your job.
I think the whole league is going after Sean Payton, because last year every week he was coming on TV saying this team sucks, this guy sucks, this coach sucks, like, and then coming into training camp this year he had all this shit to say about Nathaniel Hackett and the Jets, and obviously he apologized for it. He said I was still in my analyst phase, but or in that headspace, but I think the whole league is coming after Sean Payton.
If like I said, if you get 70 dropped on you, you should have to lose your job. Like that should never happen in an NFL game.
Yeah.
Like that's disgusting. And not to mention, like, most of them were like 80-yard touchdown runs.
Yeah, right.
It's not even like you were getting carved up and down the field. Like
they had 5 rushing touchdowns.
I know McDaniels could have broke the record for most points in a game and instead kneeled the ball out. Did you see all the memes today of McDaniels?
I saw the one where the guy that was dressed up as him in the stands or whatever. Like
So did
that's the one I saw.
So did you know that McDaniels started out as a ball boy for the Denver?
Oh, really?
He did, and there's a interview of him saying like, my dream would be to like play for the Denver Broncos, and then like the memes like, you traded a first and second round pick to lose to the ball boy from the Denver Broncos. He's good. I like McDaniels. I think
we'll see.
He's a little quirky,
sure,
but I think the team does well for him.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's a good coach or a bad coach yet. Obviously his quarterback was hurt in the playoffs last year, so like we didn't really get to see like the full potential. But it's kind of like that Sirianni thing. Like we think Sirianni is a nice coach, but like he had to kind of prove it last year in the playoffs, and obviously he did prove it that he could be a good coach in this league. So as long as Tua stays healthy, like they're the team to beat right now. Like
you think they are the?
I think it's them and San Fran right now are the two teams, NFC and AFC, to like they're the best teams right now.
Really?
Yeah.
See, it's Miami's defense that I'm not scared of.
Okay.
I know Bradley Chubb is on the defense, but who else is Xavier Howard?
Jalen Ramsey is out.
He's out for the season. He tore his ACL.
No, I think he's coming back November.
Really?
November or December. Yeah, it might be December. I don't think he tore it. I think it was they were worried that he tore it and he didn't. But he'll be out like 10 weeks, 10 or 12 weeks.
Imagine if they didn't get rid of Minka.
Right. Now he's on a bad team.
Yes, Pittsburgh's bad.
Yeah.
That's your boy though, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, man. I thought I thought maybe this was it. I thought he was the guy that was going to take that next step, and he's looked really bad.
Yeah, well, he also doesn't have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
And I think we are so, as Eagles fans, like, we literally have, I don't know of all time, but I'm sure that this offensive
up there.
line ranks somewhere
Yeah.
in the top something of all time.
So what were we just talking about before that? The Steelers. So did you watch any of that game Sunday night?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw like I think it was Collinsworth who said, I was talking to Pickett earlier today or yesterday, whatever it was, and he said like that was the worst beating he's ever taken was against Cleveland the week before. And dude, as soon as he said that, the very next play, Max Crosby comes up and lays the biggest hit I've ever fucking seen. Sorry, I keep cursing, but he lays one of the biggest hits I've ever seen. And dude, like Pickett just looked like he wanted to go home. He got up and just looked around like, what am I doing?
Why am I playing?
Yeah.
They are bad. I think Tomlin's gonna get fired, or I think they're gonna mutually part ways.
Okay.
I think it's about that time. He's been there 15 years?
2005-ish, yeah.
So,
maybe longer.
18 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think.
When did the Steelers win with
04
the first time?
04.
Was it 04?
It was 05. They beat Seattle, right?
So then, yes. So then it was 06 that Tomlin came in because Bill
Cowher.
Cowher retired after they won.
He's been with the Steelers since 07.
As the head coach, okay.
Yeah.
It was 07. So then, yeah, okay. So maybe
That's
Cowher
15 years.
Yeah.
16 years.
16
it's
years.
Time.
Yep.
It's time.
Listen, I mean, the guy has never had a losing season.
He's gone it this year. They are bad.
Yeah, no, I know. One losing season in 16 years isn't bad though.
No. But you're also taking mediocrity in there too, and saying you're okay with 9 and 7.
Yeah, but how many times has he gone? How many times has he gone 8-8 or 9 and 7?
I can count.
Well, I don't think 8 and 8 is 8 and 8 like technically a winning season. It's not, right?
500.
I'm saying but do they count?
I don't know what that counts.
Season? I don't think it does, but
okay.
So he's never even gone 8 and 8 then.
Let's see. 09, 9 and 7, 2012, 8 and 8, 2013, 8 and 8.
Okay, so they did go 8 and 8. So I guess they do count as a winning season because it's not under 500.
2018, 9 and 6 and 1, 2019, 8 and 8, and last year 9 and 8.
Okay.
And the year before that, 9, 7 and 1.
But you're also taking into consideration too, like how many winning seasons did he like did they win the division and go to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, like things like that.
He's only got one
Super Bowl.
What
you're saying though. Yeah, I know.
Think, right?
One or been to one.
What?
What did you say? Been to one or only one?
I think he's only won one. Has he been to only? He's lost the one against Green Bay.
Yeah, so he's been to 2.
Yeah.
He's got 1. He's been to 2. Roethlisberger only has 2. Right?
Yep.
He's been to 2 or 3. Roethlisberger.
3.
2 with
08, 05, and
no. Did he go in 05? I thought they lost the championship game. Because that was his rookie year. They went to the AFC championship game. He came in like week 3 or 4. They won every game, and then they lost in the championship game. I thought, or the game before the championship game.
2010, he played in the Super Bowl. 2008, he played in the Super Bowl.
He won.
And you're thinking 2006 would be your guess?
That's what
when they won?
When did they beat Seattle?
They beat Seattle 2006.
Okay. Then in 2008, what did they do?
They won.
Who did they beat?
And then they beat
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, because the Eagle it would have been
that was
PA
the Eagles' year.
Yeah, yep. And then in 2010 they lost, and they haven't been back since, right?
And you're thinking he went in 2005 too?
No. They lost the championship game, I think, in 05.
To New England, because that's when New England beat the Eagles.
I think they did beat the Patriots. Did beat the Steelers in 05.
Let's see.
2006, the 2006 Super Bowl, I think, or no, I am so confused. 04 season, 05 Super Bowl was the Patriots Eagles. 05.
Did you know that game the Patriots were favored by 7?
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a 04 season, 05 Super Bowl were the Eagles Patriots. 05 season, 06 Super Bowl was the Colts, right? The Colts and Bears.
Nope. That was
the year after?
Steelers and Seahawks. No, it was the year. Let's see. Yep, 2000 and the 2007 season. 2006 season, 2007 year was the Colts beating the Bears.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I feel like that was like the first Super Bowl, like before the Eagles. The Eagles Super Bowl was the first one the one that they lost against the Patriots was probably the first one I really like remember. But obviously the first one that they weren't in was definitely the Sean Alexander Seattle and Steelers, Super Bowl. So let's talk about the Jets though.
What do you want to talk about? How bad they are? How their Hall of Fame.
It really sucks, man.
Quarterback came out and said he's seen enough of Zach Wilson. Did you see that? Namath came out today and said it stinks. He stinks. I've seen enough. Yeah.
It's. And then what do they do today? They go out and they sign Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, and they have, on top of everything else that they're dealing with right now, Kaepernick sending them a letter to be their practice squad.
If things couldn't get worse.
I know. Like if you needed any more negative media, because if you don't answer that,
you're an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you read that?
I didn't read the letter. No.
It's actually pretty.
Who released it? Somebody released it, right?
J. Cole.
Yeah. This is just a shit show.
Dude, he said.
Did you see the video of him? Did you see the video of J. Cole walking behind the arena that just came out like a couple days ago or yesterday? No. He was walking like somewhere like behind the stage of like an arena, and Topanga from Fallout or from Boy Meets World is like walking, and she's like, her eyes light up. She's like, "I love you so much," and they like give each other a hug, and like he walks away, and Topanga's like, "Oh, he's just like my favorite rapper," and then just walks away. It's like the most random because like it's the most random thing ever because like they say like he has a song with like that references Topanga or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to sports.
So if you get a chance, you should read the letter that Kaepernick wrote because it's pretty funny. Because he goes and he's like, "I'm not asking you to be on your active roster. I'm asking to be your practice squad quarterback."
I saw that. Like, I didn't see the letter.
And he lists the reasons as to why it would be beneficial for them.
Please tell me he says Zach Wilson stinks.
He said he would be a great mentor to Zach Wilson.
Yeah, real great.
Right, let me see if I can.
Hasn't played in 7 years. That's the thing. Like, take like the political thing out of it. Like, I'm not even talking about the politics. Personally, I don't give a shit. About what anybody thinks. Honestly, like politically, this guy hasn't played in 7 years.
Let me see if I could find this. Yeah, he hasn't played in 7 years, but he goes on to say that he is still every day practices throwing from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m.
You know who else practices from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. or whatever you said? Carson Wentz.
Carson Strong.
Carson Strong. Matt Ryan. Phil Rivers will probably come back.
Yeah. All right, ready? I'm going to try and briefly read through this.
Okay. By the way, I'm just reading our comments, and my boy Shuvi, he agrees with me. So,
bye, Shuvi. Joe Douglas is obviously who he's addressing in this letter, right? It says, Joe, I hope this letter finds you in great spirits despite the less than ideal start to the big season. I'm wishing you, your staff, and the players a great game this weekend as you look to bounce back. I'm writing, of course, in response to the unfortunate loss of Aaron Rodgers. I know aspirations for the season were. I know aspirations for the season were and still are to win a championship. And so the Hall of Fame size hole needs to be filled as best as possible to keep the team on the Super Bowl track. Right now, Zach Wilson is charged with that task, and I wish him the best moving forward. However, I know that there are currently depth issues at the position, and I've heard that backup spots are likely to be filled by a veteran quarterback. As much as I would love an opportunity to fill that spot, I'm writing you in hopes that you can imagine a much different approach involving me. I would be honored and extremely grateful for the opportunity to come in and lead the practice squad. I would be able to do this with my sole mission of getting the defense ready last week. If I were able to fill this role for the team, I believe this allows multiple things. And he goes through what this would allow. It says it gives your defense advantage of getting a truer read on a more mobile, athletic quarterback. This also would give guys in the organization a real look at my football in-game situations. In a perfect world for the Jets, Zach Wilson finds his stride and shows that he's able to lead this championship caliber team he put together. And then worst case scenario, you see what I have to offer and you're not impressed. Best case, you realize you have a real weapon at your disposal in the event if you ever need it. In either of these scenarios, I'd be committed to getting your defense ready week in and week out. Then he goes through it all, and he says, I've also attached a list of references within the league that will vouch for my character, work ethic, and ability. Jim Harbaugh, Chip Kelly, John Harbaugh, and the owner of the Raiders, Mark Davis.
Joe Douglas, he sat in his office, whether it was yesterday or the day before, whatever it was. Sat in his office. Somebody brought him mail. He opened it, to Joe Douglas. Opens it up, reads this, and says, "Trevor Siemian."
Not only am I going to tell you no, it's like Billy Madison. Everybody got a little bit stupider.
Yeah.
May God have mercy on your soul.
May God have mercy on your soul. I'm glad I called that guy. But he sat there and read this. He read this letter from Colin Kaepernick and said, "You know what? You're right. I need another quarterback. Let me go sign Trevor
Siemian." Somebody told me that teams were actually reaching out to them. Like players were reaching out to them. I mean, like Carson Wentz called them. Matt Ryan called them. How desperate are you that you're calling to be the backup quarterback?
I said this before the season started. When training camp started, when Carson was still not on the team, I thought he was still so out of it that he thought, I'm just going to wait for an opportunity to be a starting quarterback, like waiting for one of these starters to go down so that I can take over and be the guy. But after reading that, maybe teams just didn't have interest.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Jets didn't, and Joe Douglas knew him from Philly.
Trevor Siemian.
So it's not like they weren't familiar with each other. Joe Douglas knew Carson Wentz.
No, for sure.
Right? They crossed paths, right?
Yeah, he was here when Carson went down with the injury against Seattle in the playoffs.
Right. So
he left a year or two after that. So Douglas and Carson, but.
That Joe Douglas has literally a hard job going right now. Yeah. In his mind, he was like, we're going to win the Super Bowl.
And 4 plays into the season, he loses his Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, and has to put in Zach Wilson. If he doesn't take off that stupid sweatband.
Yeah.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen on him. Like, take that off and go get a haircut.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jets are a mess, and I feel bad for their fans, but they probably don't deserve this.
No, they don't. They definitely don't.
So,
and
they did the
right, and they did the right thing. Like they're not one of those teams. They've never actually tanked a season.
Yeah,
Like they always show up and like they'll win you 5 or 6 games.
Those 3 years that Todd Bowles was there, like they almost made the playoffs like 2 of the 3 years, and they were
No, they
bad.
did.
Or
No,
did they
did
make the
make
playoffs?
Yeah,
I know
that's
that
when
one year
Ryan
they almost did.
Fitzpatrick that one year was on fire. You don't remember? He had like 11. They were like 11 or 12 win team.
Okay. Oh, dude, I'm so mad. Because I could have had this trivia thing for you. I don't know if I'll be able to find it in time because we have to kind of start winding down a little bit here. We're coming to the end of the show, but I was gonna try to find the list of quarterbacks. That each franchise quarterback that was the last quarterback for each franchise that has won a playoff game.
Okay.
I'm going to try to find it really quick. If I can't find it in the next 30 seconds, we're not going to be able to do it. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can find it really, really quick. Because I got like 30 to 32. Shit. I thought I had it. It's right here, but it won't open up.
How about those Buffaloes?
Oh yeah, man. Listen, they finally played like a real team, and I don't think Argentine is even that good, but I can't find this list. Oh well. Well, maybe we'll do it next week. But yeah, because Colorado loses to Oregon. I wish we had more time to talk about college. This is the most college I've watched in years.
It's good. It's good this year because Alabama's not good.
Right. And Ohio State's not that good.
No.
And it's gonna be interesting with the 12 teams. You know.
Is that this year?
That's what I keep hearing.
That's what I thought too, but I got told the other day I'm wrong. It's still only the 4 this year. It goes to 12 next year.
I think it's 12 this year.
I would, yeah. I mean, as a Penn State fan, obviously that's what I want because there's no way they'll get into the top 4. Well,
it's the only way Penn State gets into the playoffs is if there's 12. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'd have to beat Ohio State and Michigan.
Right.
This year.
Who's the best team in college football right now?
Who's number 1?
Like to you, like who's the best team?
Georgia.
Okay. Are they number 1?
I think so, but they haven't really played anybody yet.
Right. This is when it starts to get real. Like this was the first year where it was like you're kind of there's a lot of ranked teams that played each other. Let's see. Temple got smoked.
They sure did. That why do they? I feel bad for them. I honestly do.
All right, so let's see. So let's say hypothetically, let's say the 12 teams are it is the 12 teams. Like, does Texas scare you? Like,
yeah, Ewers has a good arm.
Does Florida State? Like, I think Florida State looks good, but like, are they going to win a national championship?
They could.
Their quarterback looks good. Georgia, they have a receiver too, right? A big receiver.
From
Florida
they
State.
do. From Florida, yeah.
Like USC, like I don't know if USC is gonna.
Caleb Williams, man,
he looks great, but like, I don't know, man. It's just there's no team this year that like I'm like, yeah, this is the team.
Georgia is good. They just haven't played their SEC teams yet. I think they play Auburn this weekend.
Yes,
so that'll be a chance for them. Michigan,
they've played Tennessee, Martin, Ball State, South Carolina, and UAB so far.
Yeah, I guess Michigan would be the other one where I'm like, okay, they're number 2. Pretty good. They're pretty good.
But again, they haven't played anybody either, though. East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers.
Yeah, and Rutgers, what was that final score? Did they blow them out?
31-7.
Okay, so yes, they did blow them out.
Ohio State,
I'm not scared of Ohio State this year at all.
I mean, at least their win this week was like legit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. went down. He didn't play the most of the game. So, like, did that have anything to do with the score? I don't know. Notre Dame doesn't scare me.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Penn State might actually be like the top threat right now for me.
They're that kid can throw the ball. They just don't have a really good wide receiver room.
Sure, and they have the top left tackle, right?
In football, yeah. Like he if he would have came out last year, he would have. They also have one of the top cornerbacks too, Caleb King.
Right. Yep.
And their running backs are both really good, Singleton and Carter. No, I can't think of the other running back's name. They use a 2 running back system, and they both are really good.
Okay.
So, and Aller can throw the ball. So yeah, they're pretty good. Their pass rush gets there.
Allen?
Aller's their quarterback.
No, the running back. Kyle Allen or K.
Allen.
John Allen.
Yeah, Allen. Yeah. Yep. They're both really good. It's just they don't have wide receivers.
Yeah.
So their downfield game, but they have a good O line. I guess that's what it matters, right?
Yeah, of course.
All that matters.
Yeah. So we'll definitely continue to discuss. I know Mike's not huge into college football, so but we'll definitely, you and I will definitely we'll definitely keep track of what's going on in college football every week. But you know, we're kind of running late here on this episode. If there's anything else, you know, you wanted to talk about before we go,
So for the next couple games, since the Phillies clinched, do you expect like you think so?
Yes.
All of them.
Keep them going. Keep them hot. Like the last game of the year, you can sit them. So the playoffs start next Tuesday, week from today, the 3rd, October 3rd. Their last game is Sunday. You can give them rest. They'll be off Monday. You can give them rest for 2 days. I think they play normal. Like I'm not somebody who's. I'm gonna try to keep this really quick because I have to run and we have to kind of start to end this out a little bit. But I would tell them like still play hard, but don't like if you don't have to make a like if you like don't make a double into a triple, like you know don't get hurt, like don't have these pitchers throw 80 pitches, you know what I mean, like let's just try to get through this healthy, but still play everybody to stay hot.
So JT, are you giving him any rest?
Yes, I would actually. Okay. How many games are left? 2 against Pittsburgh and 3 against the Mets.
So 3 against the Mets.
It's 5 games. I would say JT catches another 2, at least.
And okay,
like maybe he plays. Like I would sit him. When do they play? Wednesday or Thursday? They play
the Mets on Thursday.
No, they play the Pirates Thursday, don't they? Because they were off yesterday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday against the Pirates. Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Mets. So
okay.
The day game, I would play Stubbs.
Okay.
So I would play JT tomorrow, and I think for the day game Thursday, I would play Stubbs. Friday, I would play JT. Saturday and Sunday, I would probably play Stubbs again.
Okay.
So you give JT 2 more catching, 4 days to catch. That would be tomorrow and Saturday. Or yes, tomorrow and Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, I would give Stubbs.
Okay.
Or Friday, Sunday, I would give the Stubbs. Like I would still give JT 2 days for these next
5. Just came from Bleacher Report that the Jets defense is unhappy with Saleh. Players are taking exception to head coach's continuous public support of Zach Wilson.
What are
you going to do?
Yeah. It's like Rex Grossman in 2008 when they asked him like, "What do you think?" You know, he's in Washington. They said, "Do you think you're going to win a division this year?" "Yeah, I do think we're going to win a division." Everybody was upset. What the hell else is he supposed to say? No, we're going to lose 12 games this year. Like, that's crazy though. But yeah. Anything else?
I know you got to go.
Yep.
Predictions
for
this Eagles week game?
They win. and I think they win comfortably. I'm gonna say 28-10.
Okay, I'm gonna go 24-17. I think it's gonna
Okay.
get a little bit tighter, like a cheapy at the end,
Right.
like they kind of allowed last night with Evans. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that I wouldn't be surprised. Now I have to figure out why the hell I can't play the outro.
Do you want to kind of sing it?
Just no, I found it. All right. So yeah. Like Mike says every week, like us, follow us, listen, show your parents, your kids, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your friends, everybody our show.
Everybody looting Philadelphia right now.
Yes. Everybody looting. Chris is gonna go around. He's gonna be in another state pretty soon. He's gonna show the people of New Hampshire our show. What state you gonna be in next?
Pennsylvania.
That's a big state, man. It's a big state.
Yeah.
It's an important one for your campaign trail. So yeah. So like us, follow us, listen, and we will be back next week. Oh, our next show will be we're going to be previewing the Phillies playoffs. We'll know definitely who we play. It's probably going to be the Cubs or the Diamondbacks. But our next show Monday, it's the day before the playoffs start, so we are excited. So come hang out with us next week, and we will discuss. So all right, well that'll do it. So we will see everybody next week. Bye.